Hi everyone, welcome back and I hope you're doing well. Just a couple of days ago I just finished my last project and my plan is to change my workflow, and I thought I haven't done a video tour of my studio and my workflow for quite some time, quite a few years, and also I wanted to capture a moment of what it was before I changed my workflow of during my recording. And I thought I'll make a video and also share, some people might be interested, what the workflow are for some people like myself. Maybe this is something will suit you as well. So yeah, I'll give you a quick tour of what my current setup is, my upboard gear and my setup as far as hardware is concerned, and show you a little bit around my studio as well, because at the moment it's a mess and it's an ideal way to share what a working studio is like. A lot of times you might see videos of studio tours that people do, all nice and clean and tidy, which is good. That's how it normally should be. But when you have clients coming in and going on a regular basis and you're changing projects, things can get messy, to a certain degree. I try to keep clean as much as I can, aesthetically, so, clients coming in, but at the same time, you can't just pack away everything and bring things out all at the same time. It's just, you got to leave things because it's a working studio. So without any further delay, let me show you what my studio looks like before the change. If you haven't watched any of my videos how I actually build my studio, I will leave a link and a card up there somewhere so you can click and watch, because I built my studio. So at the moment, this is the entrance door there, and all of my gear and cables and things are around there. And these are my panels that I use for either isolating what's behind there, like acoustic drums and things, or I can change it over behind my vocal area if I'm doing voiceovers, or if I need, less room in my recordings, they just move there. And at the moment, behind there is a complete mess of things, or boxes of gear and instruments, and racks behind there. So, and even more there. So all this needs to be cleaned up eventually, because at the moment it's not used. And just coming back from the other side, this is my Yamaha PSR S900 keyboard that I use for my keyboard things. A couple of guitars there, which I don't play, but they're there for musicians to use. And coming to the front, this is my desk area, and we will have a look at it closely, what I have, what sort of gears I have there and what they are and how it actually works. And I did build this desk myself, but yeah, that's all hand built to the right size that I need. And just on the other side is where my guests normally sit and we have conversations and do things. And over here is my mic cabinet, some CD player, because sometimes we still need to listen to CDs, and my PC lives there. I built that about 8 years ago and still use it without any problems, without any issues. So yeah, so let's get closer to my desk and my gear, and we'll have a look, and I'll go through my system. As I said, don't mind all this mess. That's quite common. Okay, this is on my left-hand side, is where I have all of my bus options. At the top here, I use this the ART Pro VLA2 as my bus compressor. It's a tube compressor, sort of a leveling compressor. So it's really great. Gives nice and warmth to my buses, whether if it's drum, but usually my main mix bus, I try to go through that, And at the bottom here, I've got my DBX 1066. I usually this one for drums. If I've got drums that I want to put it through to give some analog vibe. It's quite a fast attack and release times on this one. The drum sounds really good. Sometimes synthesizers go through that as well. So I like that one. And below that, I have my Behringer Ultra Curve Pro 2496. This is my output. So basically, output from my audio interface or mixer come here. And this has room equalization for my speakers. It's very easy to use. I know a lot of people use SonarWorks. I do have that one, but I prefer the hardware. But that means doesn't matter what I'm listening to, everything coming out of my audio interface will go through here to my speakers. That means everything is, equalized. So it's got to go in parallel with the room acoustics, not just room equalization. Below that, this is my TC Helicon VoiceWorks Plus. This is a mic pre that also has auto-tuning in there, so pitch correction, harmony, and many other options, delay, reverb. I no longer use this, so this most likely going to come out of here. You're not going to use them anymore because there are better options in the box. And below that is my Lexicon MPX 110. I use this every now and then if I want to get like a nice analog, not analog, but more like lo-fi effects. It gives niceness. It's a bit noisy, and that's what I like about it if I wanted to use it, the lo-fi effects for my either vocals or guitars or synths. It's really great. So that's my left, and that's where all my processing happens as bus processing. So let's go to the right-hand side. That's where all my inputs are. So on my right-hand side, this is what I consider my input section. So all my input gear are here, like my ART Pro Channel 2. This is tube mic pre with EQ and compression on there as well. I use this regularly, but the most commonly used one is my PreSonus tube preamplifier studio channel. Again, this is tube pre, very gentle tube pre with compression and equalization as well. So pretty much 99% of the time, if I'm recording a microphone, will either go through the ART or the studio channel. So if everything gets sort of processed analog before it hits the audio interface. Below that is my old Ultra Voice Pro. This is again going to come out. I no longer use that. Something else going to replace that. And then below that is my Composer Pro. This is a dual channel compressor, gate, and limiter and de-esser. It's quite useful for many things. On the way in, I use it for guitars, sometimes background vocals or drums. De-esser, it's really great for overheads. I can use them. So like the stereo overheads will come in, and I can use the de-esser to control that, the splash and things very nicely. Anyway, and below that is my patch bay, which allows me to connect all of this and all of the items we saw previously on my left-hand side through the patch bay into my audio interface. And talking about my audio interface, let's have a look at my current outgoing audio interface in the middle of the desk. And this is my sitting position on the desk. By the way, I do apologize for the little bit of shaky video because I'm just using my mobile phone to video this because it's nothing really that important. I hope you don't mind. And again, the sound, the voice, my vocals is from my mobile phone, from my iPhone. So I hope you don't mind. I'll try to fix it if I need to later on. And what's hiding behind the curtain? It's my current TASCAM Model 12 digital mixer, audio interface, SD card recorder, and I've done many videos on this one, so I'll leave a link about there. You can watch that if you want to learn about this. if you're thinking of buying one, or you already have one and you want to learn a little bit more about it, I have a whole heap of videos on this one. So currently this is my audio interface, but now that my project has finished, it's gonna go back in its box. So this will be instead of unboxing video, a reboxing video of this unit. Not that anything's wrong with it, it's just that my workflow is now changing, and I no longer need the Model 12. I need some other ways of getting my mixing projects done. I don't need this. I can use this space for something else. And to find out what's going to happen, obviously, that's going to be in my next video. So make sure you subscribe and to find out what my workflow is going to be next. But if you like this video or videos like this, give me the thumbs up as well. Okay. And of course, part of my system are my PreSonus Eris E8s. I had them for about 6-7 years, maybe more. So I'm used to this sound, and I like the sound, so I always keep them. There's no reason to change. I know there are better speakers probably out there, but once your ears are used to these speakers, it means you can judge your mixing much better than trying to learn a new speaker system and trying to, mix it. And talking about that, underneath here, this is where I pull out my keyboard, because I am a keyboard player, and this is where my Behringer Motor 61 is. This is my controller keyboard. I can use this to play any instrument in my VSTI instrument in my DAW. It does have a lot of features on there, including motorized faders, the rotary knobs and pads. It's really nice. It's semi-weighted, not fully weighted. It's semi-weighted, and that's what I like anyway. So it's really nice. I'm really happy with this one. I had it for quite a few years, and it works really well. And before I forget, these are my spare hardware units. This is my conditioner, power conditioner. Everything goes through that to show me the voltage and how much current I'll be using. And then below that is my 4-channel or 8-channel headphone amplifier, compressor, a tape deck, and VHS. They can come handy at times. So these are all in my patch bay, so if I ever need to use them, matter of just turning them on, and through the patch bay I can connect them. So that's pretty much my studio, very quick overview of how things work. Input, bus compression, and everything into the middle. So let's rebox my TASCAM Model 12. You might have seen many unboxing of gear, including mine when I unboxed this 12. I bet you haven't seen any reboxing videos, have you? Well, there's always a first time. Maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna get all of the power supplies and everything back in the box, including the book. And if you are wondering, no, it's not for sale. I hardly ever sell anything that I own, because it's always useful for the next time round. It's not like, it's just change of my workflow. So next time round, if things change, then I don't have to buy another one if I sell it. That means I still have it, and it will stay in storage until I need it. Right, everything back in its box. Till next time. Now, I have to be also honest. I mean, I know you might read on forums and Facebook groups and online, some people having a lot of issues with the TASCAM Model 12, mainly switches or connections and things like that, or starting. I personally have not had any issue with the power switch, even though I actually switch on and off the unit itself from the back, even though I could switch the whole thing from my power conditioner, but I still use at the back of it because I don't turn it on all the time because I could be doing other things. So I never had that problem for the past nearly 3 years. I had this unit sitting right there that I used. But in all honesty, I have been having some issues lately with the driver. I'm going to assume the driver, because a few weeks back, as I was recording a client, all of a sudden my playback channel stopped working. Now, I normally have my playback from my DAW going to channels 9 and 10 because it's stereo fader, so I could actually control the playback volume. So while we were recording, all of a sudden, halfway through, it stopped playing. There was no sound coming out, even though we could hear the microphone on the system, but it's just the playback stopped. I mean, my DAW was still playing, my levels were going up, but there was no sound coming from channels 9 and 10. At that moment, I pretended that I actually stopped the recording and start talking to the client about how to do another take and to improve on some of its features. While talking, I changed my output from 9 to 10 to 7 and 8, and then said, okay, let's try it again. This time, vocal, trying to be more expressive and so on, and then press play and record, and then I could hear it on channels 7 and 8. And I said, okay, I sorted myself out without telling the client that something was wrong with my audio interface. That's the last thing you want to do. We wanted to do another take, and I switched it back to 9 and 10, and it was fine. So those sort of things really can affect, especially when you are recording. And there has been other instances as well where the whole thing would just stop, and my DAW will report that cannot communicate with the audio interface. It disappeared, got disconnected, even though the unit still was working and everything was there. So there has been some issues, but again, nothing really major. And but that's, I guess, quite normal with any audio interface at this sort of a price range. But once you go into the range of paying, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 like RMEs or Motus, then you may not have those problems. But I know, and I have expressed this in many of my videos, that the drivers, especially the Windows drivers for the TASCAM Model 12, 16, and the 24, they are the worst ones, to my experience. TASCAM really need to work on their driver for these models. I'm not sure how well the new 2400 drivers are, but I'm going to assume they're about the same. I would call them, not the best. They really need to improve their Windows drivers for these devices, because that's where they really fall down, because the communication, because it'll be on, connected, and you open up within your DAW, open up the control panel, in this case for the TASCAM Model 12, it says device not connected, even though it's still connected. And it takes about maybe 5-6 seconds before it decides that, oh yeah, it is connected. And so you'll be able to change settings. So those were some of the only things that I can really complain about the TASCAM Model 12 for the past 2.5 years, nearly 3 years actually, nearly 3 years that I actually used it. So anyway, that's it for that one. And if you want to find out what's going to replace it or what my new workflow is going to be, because all of this will change as well, make sure you subscribe to my channel. That way you get to find out in my next video of what my new workflow is. Till next time, as always, thanks for watching and have a great time making music, and I'll catch you guys in the next time. Cheers, guys.